What would you do if your silence could cost thousands of lives? What if God placed you exactly where you are, for a reason far greater than you imagined? This is the story of a woman who hid her identity, risked her life, and saved an entire nation. Stay with us, because in this video, we bring to life the remarkable story of Esther, a Jewish girl who became queen and stepped into divine destiny. Make sure you subscribe to Faithframe and turn on the bell, because every Bible animation here is created to strengthen your walk with God. Our story begins in the Grand Empire of Persia, during the reign of King Xerxes, a powerful and proud ruler. He threw a feast that lasted 180 days, showing off his wealth and might. At its climax, he called for Queen Vashti to appear before him, but she refused. Furious, the king removed her from the throne, and soon, a search began for a new queen. In the capital city of Susa lived a young Jewish woman named Hadassah, known to others as Esther. She was beautiful, kind, and humble. Orphaned at a young age, she was raised by her older cousin, Mordecai. When the king's officials came looking for beautiful young women for the royal palace, Esther was taken and brought into the care of Hegai, the keeper of the women. Though taken from her home, Esther found favor wherever she went. She listened, she obeyed, and she kept her Jewish identity hidden, just as Mordecai instructed. After months of preparation, her moment came. She stood before King Xerxes, and he was captivated. Out of all the women, the king chose Esther to be his queen. But behind the palace walls, darkness was rising. A man named Haman had risen to power, second only to the king. He was proud, cruel, and obsessed with honor. When Mordecai refused to bow before him, Haman was enraged. But he didn't just want revenge on Mordecai. He wanted to annihilate all the Jews in Persia. Haman devised a wicked plan. He convinced King Xerxes to issue a decree. On a specific day, every Jew in the empire would be killed. The king, unaware of Esther's heritage, sealed it with his signet ring. The news spread, and panic filled the Jewish communities. Mordecai tore his clothes, put on sackcloth, and mourned at the palace gates. When Esther heard, she sent a messenger. Mordecai's reply was haunting. "Do not think that because you are in the king's house, you alone will escape. If you remain silent at this time, deliverance will arise from somewhere else. But who knows if you were made queen for such a time as this?" Esther was afraid. To approach the king without invitation meant death, unless he extended his golden scepter. But something rose inside her. "Go, gather all the Jews of Susa. Fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days. Then, I will go to the king. And if I perish, I perish." Esther chose courage. She chose purpose over comfort. She chose to trust God. On the 3rd day, Esther dressed in her royal robes and approached the inner court. The king looked up and extended his golden scepter. "What is it, Queen Esther? Even up to half the kingdom, it will be yours." But Esther didn't rush. She invited the king and Haman to a banquet. At that banquet, she invited them again, to a second banquet the next day. Haman left filled with pride, but when he saw Mordecai, his rage returned. He built a massive gallows, intending to hang Mordecai the next morning. But that night, the king couldn't sleep. He ordered the book of records to be read, and discovered that Mordecai had once saved his life from an assassination plot. The king asked, "What honor was given to this man?" "Nothing, Your Majesty." So the king ordered that Haman himself would parade Mordecai through the city, declaring his honor. Haman was humiliated. The next day, at the second banquet, the moment came. Esther stood up and revealed her secret. "O king, if I have found favor, grant me my life and the lives of my people. For we have been sold to be destroyed, killed, and annihilated." The king was shocked. Who would dare to do such a thing? This wicked Haman. The king stormed out in fury. Haman begged for his life, but it was too late. The king ordered Haman to be hanged on the very gallows he built for Mordecai. The decree to destroy the Jews couldn't be revoked, but the king gave Esther and Mordecai the authority to write a new one, allowing the Jews to defend themselves. When the appointed day came, the Jews stood their ground, and God gave them victory. The story of Esther is more than history. It's a living testimony of God's unseen hand. Here are 5 powerful lessons we can learn. 1. God is always working, even when we don't see Him. There's no mention of God's name in the entire book, yet His presence is everywhere. 2. You were made for such a time as this. Your gifts, your position, your story, they're not accidents. They're assignments. 3. Courage doesn't mean absence of fear. It means obedience despite fear. Esther was afraid, but she stepped forward anyway. 4. Your identity matters in God's plan. Esther hid hers at first, but when it mattered most, she revealed who she truly was. 5. God can reverse the enemy's plans. Haman's plot backfired. What the enemy meant for evil, God turned for good. The same God who raised Esther can use you. So, what will you do when your moment comes? Will you speak? Will you stand? Maybe, just maybe, you were born for such a time as this. Thanks for watching this episode of Faithframe. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. We post new Bible animations every Sunday, Thursday, and Saturday.